nationwide this Wednesday. I'm Hauwa, Salihu, Adama. With just few days to the Ondo State governorship election, Justice Salihu of the Court of Appeal in Abuja has reinstated Eyitayo Jegede as the People's Democratic governorship candidate. The appeal court set aside a decision of a federal high court presided over by Justice Okon Abang, describing the inclusion of Jimo Ibrahim as an error. Judiciary correspondent Dele Atumbi reports that the Supreme Court had earlier cleared the course for the appeal court following the dramatic withdrawal of 10 different applications by the Jimo Ibrahim faction, praying the Supreme Court to stop the Court of Appeal from hearing all the appeals relating to the dispute. And the Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, has assured the people of Ondo State that the governorship election will be free, fair, and credible. He gave the assurance in Akure during a stakeholders meeting ahead of Saturday's governorship election in the state. Dele Adamolekun reports that the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and other security personnel were in attendance.
The Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, reiterated the commitment of the Commission not to allow the will of the people to be denied. The Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC, Olusegun Agbaje, expressed the readiness of the Commission to conduct free, fair, and credible governorship election on Saturday. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, solicited the cooperation of the people of the state and warned against violation of law and order before, during, and after the election. The representatives of the political party present commended INEC for their proactive and unbiased approach as they signed peace reaffirmation agreement to be law-abiding. In Akure, Dele Adamolekun, NTA News.
And the Nigerian police force has deployed 3 helicopters to the 3 senatorial districts of Ondo State to monitor Saturday's governorship election and provide security surveillance. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, disclosed this at a strategic meeting with officers and men of the State Police Command ahead of Saturday's polls. Doris Olumoko completes the report.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, said the police, in collaboration with other security agencies in the state, will ensure a peaceful and transparent governorship election, adding that various security measures have been put in place, which include the quarantine of all borders to Ondo State from midnight of Thursday, the 24th, to Sunday, the 27th. He said all police officers on election duty will be given tags to authenticate their areas of deployment, warning that any police officer caught where he is not deployed to will be detained and dealt with.
We are taking restriction very serious. Stay where you are, provide security where you are deployed. I don't want to student deploy somebody from one end of the state, he move to the other one. Because one position has put him in a vehicle and say, let's go somewhere. And you go there and begin things that are not supposed to. We should be on ground from now. We should start implementing stop and search. Let people know that you are in town. And with this stop and search, we are going to discover so many things. If you give these politicians, opportunity to be doing things, they are going to give us problem of the day of the election.
The police boss also warned that monies will not be allowed into polling units, adding that thugs and their sponsors will be arrested. Both the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Abila Joseph, and Ondo State Police Commissioner Hilda Ibifuro Harrison assured that the police officers will not compromise. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
The governorship election, some political parties are calling for its postponement, citing various reasons to compel the electoral umpire To take that decision against this background, political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu examines the issues on the basis of the Electoral Act.
Nigerians will not forget in a hurry February 2015 when INEC postponed the general elections and of recent the Edo governorship election, which was shifted by 2 weeks. In taking these decisions, INEC relied on its constitutional power as contained in Section 26 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. The section provides that election can be postponed if there is serious breach of the peace or occurrence of natural disaster. But the section emphasizes on cogent and verifiable reasons to that effect.
The Act says the Commission, which is INEC, taking that decision on its own prompting, not on the prompting of the political parties.
Now that majority of the political parties want INEC to postpone Ondo governorship election, the electoral body said it will not heed to their call as conditions or reasons for shoot on a date have not been established.
Muting the idea of postponement. Politicians are the ones that feels the status quo favors them. They don't want to hear that, and the ones that are challenged needs that postponement to enable them sort themselves out.
While 20 political parties, including the PDP, which has pre-election matters in court, are bent on the postponement, the governing APC rejects the call. Preparations are in top gear for the Ondo governorship election, which comes up on Saturday this week. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Nigerian police have confirmed that the atmosphere in Ondo State is conducive for the forthcoming election. This disclosure came up on NTA's breakfast program, Good Morning Nigeria, which featured developments ahead of the exercise. Timothy Yusuf completes the report.
A lot of controversies have characterized the build-up to the Ondo governorship election on the part of the major political gladiators. This development has no doubt brought a lot of apprehension ahead of the election. To this end, INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Ondo State, Olusegun Agbaje, has allayed the fears of many that necessary logistics are fully in place towards a hitch-free poll. The Nigeria police agree no less.
As far as we are concerned, we are set. The situation here in terms of security is quite conducive. And with the security apparatus that we also have here, we are sure they can deal decisively because we have asked for the same template to use in those states, and they have assured us. We believe that the state is very much set for this election.
We are good to go. We are good to go. We have covered all the trouble spots, and we are still taking in the concerns of flashpoints and area where trouble can come out during the election.
On the controversy trailing who emerges as the actual candidate of the PDP, legal experts say INEC simply obeyed the court order and call on political parties to determine their fate.
As at now, the position of the law is that it is the party that amasses the votes, not the candidate, not the individual. So if after Saturday, after the election, and PDP wins, then whoever the court decides or determines as the candidate of the party becomes the governor of the state.
We must amend the constitution to provide timelines for the disposal of all pre-election disputes so that before, at least 30 days before elections, the people of Ondo State and the people and the people in the various states of the federation, we know with certainty who the candidates of the political parties are, so that we do not have this type of confusion where the people are assuming that election may be postponed.
Civil society organizations believe that the call for postponement of the election from some quarters will be anti-democracy. They called on political parties to brace up to their responsibilities.
By now, we should be talking about issues that issue-based politicking. But unfortunately, we are all interested in knowing what happens in the court and all that.
Because of this do-or-die attitude of the politician, they have tried to rule the judiciary in order to get favorable judgment, knowing full well that judiciary has the last say about an electoral process, which ordinarily should not be.
The guests unanimously called on the political actors and the electorate to play the game according to the rules. The Nigeria police also unveiled phone numbers in the event of any emergency to reach out for urgent attention. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And still on the Ondo election, we just gave you the latest from the Court of Appeal, where we told you that Eitayo Jegede had been reinstated. Moving to other matters now, the management of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, has appeared before the Senate Committee on Health to give account of its operations and areas critical to development in the healthcare sector. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye reports that the senators are also interested in level compliance with statutory obligations in line with the Constitution.
3 key issues were discussed at the meeting, these being compliance with the Integrated Personnel, Payroll and Information System, IPPIS, staff training and the recruitment of personnel in line with the Federal Character Principle.
The NHIS is currently not IPPIS compliant, although having just resumed in August this year, the Executive Secretary Usman Yusuf assures the senators that he will engage the Accountant General of the Federation for a resolution to the matter. On staff training, he explained the issue that generated some exchanges, however, was that of petitions brought against the NHIS over the Federal Character Principle.
You had 3 North Central. Now it's increased to 5. 3 Northeast, increased to 4. 6 Northwest, increased to 9. South, 4, reduced to 3. Southwest, 4, reduced to 1.
It's only fair hearing that the Senate committee has a petition against me to send that petition to me, and I'll be able to answer that.
It's an establishment, not you. The person might be directed at you. It's your establishment that you head. If anything is wrong with your establishment, today you are the head. Even if it is before you, we still have the right to make inquisition. If it's about the institution like this, you don't need, the petition mustn't come to you or be limited to you. When you go home, can you compare what you have on ground with what you have on paper here?
The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, who was present at the meeting, is expected to engage the senators on these and other issues at a later date. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
With the increasing need to tackle insurgency and protect the nation's territorial waters, the National Assembly says it is committed to improving the budgetary allocation for the Nigerian Navy. Chairman, Senate Committee on Navy, Issa Haman Misau, said this during an oversight visit to the Eastern Naval Command. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma completes the report.
The visit took the committee around various arms of the command to assess the operational platforms of the Navy. Senator Issa Haman Misau, while reiterating the critical role of the Navy in ensuring security, stressed the need to upgrade its facilities to boost operations.
We are going back to the drawing board to see how we can get more money for the Nigerian Navy so that we can assist them to perform their duty effectively. Because without resources, all this, if you look at it, the jetty is nothing to write home about.
Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral James Oluwale, says expectations are high for a progression in curbing crimes on Nigerian waters.
In session, there can be progression. It depends on how we look at it. And I want to tell you with what I've seen and the confidence that I've been able to gather from the committee, we are going to progress.
Meanwhile, the Navy has arrested one Alan Benson Adama for impersonating a Navy Commodore. Mr. Adama, who was arrested alongside another suspect, also dressed in Navy uniform within the National Assembly premises, Abuja, is alleged to be the head of a fake maritime security organization known as the Nigerian Merchant Navy Corps. Also arrested are 6 other persons in Badagry, Lagos, by the Navy Forward Operating Base for same offense. Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
And still on the National Assembly and Oversight, the Chairman, House Committee on Agriculture, Mohammed Manganu, has advocated the amendment of the Procurement Act, which he says has been responsible for the delay in the execution of projects and ministries, agencies and parastatals. The chairman was speaking while on oversight visit to the National Seed Council, Veterinary Council of Nigeria and Quarantine Services. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu completes the report.
The House Committee on Agric says the implementation of the 2016 Appropriation Act in some agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture may suffer some setbacks due to late release of funds and bottlenecks associated with procurement processes. The visit by the House Committee through the three agencies some of the bottlenecks faced by the agencies.
So there is a need for us to amend the Procurement Act as regards the agricultural sector, to remove them out of the Procurement Act, because agriculture is time-bound. And there is need for the Federal Ministry of Finance also to timely release funds to ministries, to the Ministry of Agriculture, as well as the agencies under the Ministry of Agriculture for the purpose of discharging their statutory mandate.
The chairman expressed readiness to support the federal government initiative of ensuring food sufficiency and diversification of the country's economy.
We have already passed a resolution to the effect that the Central Bank of Nigeria to come out with a deliberate policy whereby farmers can access loan at single-digit interest rate, and that can be done by the recapitalization of the Bank of Agriculture, so that they will have the capacity and the wherewithal to give farmers loans at single-digit interest rate.
Some of the members of the committee also urge the agencies to live up to their responsibilities. Heads of the agencies thank the House Committee on the commitment at ensuring that due process is followed. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
And Demola in our Lagos Network studios will now give us top stories from that zone. It's over to you, Demola.
Thank you, Hauwa. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has urged motorists leaving Lagos to use alternative roads the agency is fixing to avoid the gridlock often experienced on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Director of West Operation of the agency, Jethro Olawoye, led a team from the agency's headquarters, Abuja, to assess the repair works on these alternative routes. Deji Dowu has the detail.
This inspection by the inspectorate team from FEMA headquarters is to assess the extent and quality of works done so far to put alternative roads out of Lagos in good shape before the U-turn rush. The roads under watch are Ikorodu, Itokin, Jebode, and Lagos-Otabe-Okuta carriageways. These two carriageways, as FEMA officials explained, provide easy access from Lagos for those who want to avoid the gridlock being experienced on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
There is a lot of work going on along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. On the basis of that, we decided to repair this road. This is Ikorodu-Itokin road. If you travel through this road, if you are going to the east, you save a lot of hours traveling to Benin, either Benin or the east, thereby reducing your travel time.
Express their satisfaction that adequate attention is now being given to these alternative routes.
So far, this one is okay now, perfectly okay. But we need you guys to improve more.
Before, it doesn't be like this. So people always complain. So that is the thing. Now it's better than before.
The human who are passing this road, so they need to intervene fast.
With the clement weather and expected improvement in funding, expectations of FEMA officials are quite high that the maintenance job will be completed before the U-tide rush. In Lagos, Deji Dowu, NTA News.
The need for the federal government to be proactive and tactical in its fight against terrorism by adopting new methods to combat security challenges has been advocated. This was the main focus at the Security Conference on Industrial Security and Safety Operation held in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has the details.
With the theme, The Changing Face of Terrorism in Africa, stakeholders in the security sector gathered to brainstorm on the new terrorism trend in Nigeria and Africa. The chairman of the event, Major General Robert Adama, described the program as apt in view of the security challenges facing the nation.
You mean that God cannot fight for himself?
that you need to fight for him? That is the question that we must find answers to. Because all this borders on security. For us in the armed forces and in the Nigerian Air Force in particular, we are continuously kept faith with our role in the fight against terrorism. It is imperative that I acknowledge that the challenges before us cannot be resolved by military operations alone.
The convener of the event, Dr. Ona Ekomun, in his presentation, decried the spate of security challenges. He urged everyone to support the government in its fight against terrorism.
This is something that affects our very existence as a people. It's something that takes lives and drains off a lot of resources, which can be used for other developmental purposes.
Some of the participants commended the initiators of the conference.
This time around, everyone has to be prepared for his own protection.
Each and every one of us, we have a major role to play.
The conference is the second edition with the key objectives of promoting industrial security, safety education, and training in Nigeria. In Lagos, Rotimolu Agbemi, NTA News.
Well, that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Hauwa, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Demola. And moving to other matters now, the Minister of Defense, Mansour Ali, has condemned the recent series of attacks and killings of innocent people in some parts of Zamfara state. He described the recent attacks as callous, wicked, and a barbaric act which must be condemned in its entirety. A statement by the Public Relations Officer to the Minister, Colonel Tukuru Gusau, says the federal government is on top of the situation and discussions are ongoing with relevant stakeholders in the state to consolidate the efforts of the state government. The statement adds that the minister has directed a quick increase of troops to boost the capacity of security agencies in the state. The Nigerian Air Force has presented money, foodstuff, and care items to the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association for onward delivery to internally displaced persons in the Northeast. Olajide Bello reports that it is in line with the initiative of the Chief of Air Staff on logistic support.
The United Nations Commission for Refugees estimates that about 3 million people are in the Northeast without adequate food, water, proper sanitation, or medical care in their camps. In furtherance of its corporate social responsibility, apart from protecting the nation's territorial integrity, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, launched the Personnel Voluntary Contributory Support Scheme.
As a result of this situation, that enough personnel came together and decided to voluntarily donate money and material towards meeting some of the needs of our IDPs in the Northeast.
National President Nafowa Hafsat Sadiq Abubakar promised judicious and transparent distribution of the items to the concerned persons, targeted at 2,000 families.
And we know that this kind of donation is not going to be a one-time effort, and we look forward to carry out more outreaches to the IDP camps in the future with the NAF's full support from time to time.
She reiterated NAFOA's continued commitment to contributing towards improving the quality of lives of the affected. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And still staying with the military, Theatre Commander, Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Leo Irabo says no local government in the Northeast is under the control of Boko Haram. He said this during a press conference on Operation Lafia Dole. While enumerating the achievements and challenges during the operations to combat the insurgents, he assured Nigerians of the commitment of the armed forces to protecting lives and property. Participants of the senior class 39 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji Kaduna State, have advocated the need for private sector participation in infrastructural development so as to complement government's efforts in getting Nigeria out of recession. This was the submission of the participants during a study tour to Nasarawa State. Joshua Ojito has the details.
The choice of Nasarawa State for the study tour is in view of the abundant solid mineral deposit in the state, agricultural potentials and human capital development, which, if properly harnessed, can increase the revenue base of the state and contribute to the nation's GDP. With the theme Enhancing Economic Development Through Public-Private Partnership, participants of the Senior Course 39 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji in Kaduna State submitted that while government is making efforts to pull the nation out of economic recession through provision of infrastructure and diversifying the economy, enabling environment should be provided for private sector participation through the public-private partnership arrangements.
In view of the times we live in, it's perhaps difficult for the state government to do it all alone. Budgetary provision. And there might be need, therefore, to look into the private sector for support in the area of infrastructure development.
A lot of things you are able to analyze, see, and criticize go a long way in fine-tuning some of our actions and policies towards adding value to the system.
Participants and the national state government also identified the need for peaceful coexistence as one of the surest way to woo investors to invest in the abundant solid minerals deposit in the state. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News. And Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu has presented an appropriation bill of 221.1 billion naira for the 2017 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. The governor, while presenting the bill, expressed his administration's commitment to a successful budget performance through massive internally generated revenue drive in spite of the present economic challenges in the country. Lekon Agbodi completes the report.
Christian budget of repositioning, it represents an increase of 10.45% compared to the 2016 appropriation bill. Governor Amosun, who said that the 2016 appropriation bill recorded about 56.2% performance as at 31st of October 2016, and that the 2017 appropriation bill will have personnel cost of 73.93 billion naira, representing 33.43% of the total expenditure. 102.82 billion naira, representing 46.50%, is proposed for recurrent expenditure, and 118.30 billion naira, representing 53.50%, is for capital expenditure.
221.129 billion budget will be funded as follows. Our IGR will be 114.34, representing 51.71%. Federation accounts have been downsized to 41 billion, representing 18.54%. Total revenue 155.34, representing 70.25%. And our capital receipts 5.78 billion, representing 29.75%.
The 5 cardinal programs of the state government will take about 146.5 billion naira out of the total budget. Governor Amosun assured that government will ensure that all the projects ongoing are completed before the end of the tenure of the current administration. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
And just is next on our lineup on Nationwide this Wednesday. Shehu will now give us details of top stories from that zone. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Hauwa, and welcome to Jos. Officers and men of the Nigerian Army and military engaged in the fight against insurgency and security challenges have been urged to utilize all needed strategies towards sustaining peace in Plateau State. Chief of Defense Staff General Gabriel Olonishakin said this while on a working visit to Jos. Yusuf Umar has more.
That was the Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonishakin, on his arrival at the Yakubu Gowon Airport, Haipan. He was received by heads of military and paramilitary formations on the plateau and proceeded to the headquarters of the Special Task Force. Addressing officers of the Special Task Force, General Olonishakin charged them to be committed, dedicated, and exhibit high professionalism in efforts at restoring lasting peace on the plateau and Nigeria as a whole. General Olonishakin said he is fully aware of the challenges they faced, and it is being addressed to raise their morals in the fight against insurgency and other security challenges bedeviling the country.
Operations of these natures have objectives, they have timeline. What they have been sent here to do is to ensure peace in the plateau, and that they are doing. But it's just that it's not totally achieved, and that's why we feel that we should encourage them to do more, so that the operation can wind up.
He was also appreciative of the synergy between security agencies in the states. In Jos, Yusuf Umar, NTA News.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 4, Abola Oshodi Glover, was also in Jos, where he tasked officers on the need for discipline and respect for human rights and lives. This featured prominently when he addressed officers and men of the command in Plateau State. Correspondent Renret Lot tells us that the interface took place at the officers' mess, Tudunwada, Jos.
Addressing the officers and men on issues ranging from that of discipline, promotion and police public relationship, the AIG encouraged the men to be friendly with the public, especially civil society. This, he says, is the only way the public can trust them with important information that will aid them in carrying out their duty of fighting crime. AIG Oshodi Glover says the Inspector General of Police has concluded arrangement for officers to be trained in the areas of community policing and other specialized courses. He had this members of the public during the Ember period.
The people should continue to be law-abiding and to do their best to keep crime away from them by being friendly with the police and always report any suspicious movement around them.
The AIG was also at the internally displaced people's camp Bukuru to visit and identify with the IDPs. Taking him round, the camp coordinator, Pastor Darren Mancha, spoke on the challenges the camp was facing in areas of accommodation, health and camp schooling. Zone 4 covers Plateau State, Benue and Nasarawa states. From the Police Officers' Mess, Jos, Rinvet Lot, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Hauwa, is back to you.
Many thanks, Shehu. And you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android devices at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. It's nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We take some messages now. The news continues shortly.
This is a happy moment for me and for all Nigerians.
Amina Ali Nkeke, the first Chibok schoolgirl to be rescued in the renewed onslaught against the Boko Haram insurgency.
Amina's rescue gives us new hope.
Federal government has formally received the 21 abducted Chibok girls.
These dear daughters of ours have seen the worst that the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best that the world can do for them. Government will sustain the effort until all the remaining girls return safely.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0 0502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers, experience catering beyond the horizon.
Flash.
I have gone. Yeah, sign to a chair. I don't carry on gone. I should turn for flash. How like this? Flash, I don't die. That's him. Hey, if you move, I shoot. That man at the smoke and something. But better.
Small. You know, say flying bullet, he get here.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Funky Malam, Bimbo Akintola, Ime Bishop, Junior Pope, Stephen Odingbe.
If somebody are hold on gone for inside the people, what are they carry and do? No, but to shoot the people.
Until Tuesday.
Jumo baby with a big.
Informer, you see him for your eye wearing shoot flash. Yes, sir.
Professor John Bull, fasten your seatbelts this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
Church, please, don't shoot. I beg you in the name of God.
Over and out. Welcome to the new speed of life.
A Properties Investment Company Limited, a subsidiary of the Nigerian Television Authority, specializes in creating comfort in all areas of life, such as real estate investments, that is, land, houses, and office spaces, mast leasing, savings and loan scheme, household items and car loans, and so much more. Other informations and entertainment services include Property in Style, a TV program that airs on the network service of the NTA, and also Property Connect, a nationwide magazine. Our priority is to bridge poverty gaps and sustain quality welfare of our clients. Partner with us and watch us help you grow. Pay us a visit today at the NTA headquarters permanent site, Area 11 Gariki, Abuja, or our Lagos office at number 15 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. For more information, visit our website on www.ntaproperties.com.ng, or you can email us on ntapeak2000@yahoo.com. Call us on 080-2316-3474 or 080-6939-5185 or 070-3189-0555. NTA Properties Investment Company Limited. The much needed help at your doorstep.
The essence of having a leader. When you promise, you make sure that you fulfill your promises. And that's what I'm after in particular, the success of my husband's administration. And he can't do it alone except with the help of the governors, the governor's wives, and all members of our progressive party.
Experience culture. Enjoy the exceptional hospitality. See the enchanting spectacle. Feel the friendly warmth. Join the celebration at Abuja Carnival Reloaded. It's a celebration of culture, a world-class event, the best cultural party ever. It's a carnival of change. Abuja Carnival 2016. Theme: the creative industry, pivot to economic growth. Destination: Abuja Capital City. Date: December 3rd to 6th, 2016.
Abuja Carnival, a truly national carnival.
It's good to know you're still on to Nationwide on the NTA. Moving to other matters now. 9 officers have been dismissed by the police for using their positions to aid crime and criminality. Force Public Relations Officer DCP Don Awuna stated this at the force headquarters while parading the 9 officers along 45 principal suspects arrested for armed robbery, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and car snatching. Adino Justice completes the report.
The alleged crimes of the 9 policemen include aiding and abetting serious crimes. He said the arrest was made possible through intelligence from 2 suspects in Adama State, which also led to the arrest of 19 more suspects. Others were 5 suspected armed robbers from Kogi State.
Personnel of the corps who use their official capacities to carry out or get involved in any misconduct are singled out and dealt with according to the law to serve as deterrent to others. Process to progressively sanitize the system of unprofessional and criminally minded personnel will continue and will be sustained. The IGP is assuring the Nigerians, assuring all Nigerians of adequate security and commitment of the Nigerian police force to work as seriously to further reduce the rate of crime and criminality across the country.
DCP Awona also stated that 2 other persons were arrested in Lagos and Ogun State for conspiracy to supply explosives. Items recovered include 6 cars, 14 AK-47, automatic rifles, pistols, and different sizes of locally made guns, ammunition, and magazines. Aiding of Justice, NTA News.
And still staying with security matters, the fight against corruption is receiving a boost as it goes beyond investigation and prosecution to blocking the loopholes in public and private organizations. Director, Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria, Professor Shola Akinriade stated this during the presentation of certificates to corruption risk assessors after completion of training at the Anti-Corruption Academy. Suleiman Ove Musa completes the report.
The training, which was supported by the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, drew its participants from civil society organizations and anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria with the aim of giving the participants the required knowledge on how best to tackle corruption in public and private sectors.
The emphasis is shifting from enforcement to prevention. The future of the war against corruption, both nationally and internationally, is placing more emphasis on preventing corruption rather than just investigation.
Prevention provides the first line of defense, corruption. And corruption risk assessment is the first step in corruption prevention.
Participants at the training were overwhelmed by the standard of anti-corruption crusade of the federal government and pledged to make use of the knowledge acquired in ensuring that the fight against corruption is won for the good of the country.
I was exposed to how to look out for areas in my office and in whatever place I find myself, whatever establishment, on the vulnerabilities and areas that are prone to risk.
From Kefi, Suleiman Ove Musa, NTA News.
An INEC prepares for rerun election in Rivers State. Over now to Mina in Port Harcourt for details. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Hauwa. Welcome to Port Harcourt. Rivers State Governor Yesterike says the internally generated revenue IGR of the increased from 4 billion naira monthly to 6 billion naira because of improved security in the state. The governor was speaking when he played hails to participants of the Senior Course 39 of the Command and State College Jaji at Government House, Port Harcourt. Deepa Barisidu Banwoke completes the story. Addressing the participants of the Senior Course 39 of the Command and Staff College, Governor Wike noted that for public-private partnership to strive, there must be an enabling environment that will win investors' confidence. The governor explained that the state has running projects with public-private partnership and is still willing to partner with more investors to enhance the socio-economic development of the state. He urged them to visit some of the state's projects on public-private partnership to gain practical knowledge with an assurance of the necessary assistance for the success of their program.
Encourage the partnership of private investors and government in order to enhance economic development is key. But one of the major things that will give that confidence is the environment, security. If the security is not there, there's no way investors can have the confidence. So security is key for them to have confidence to come and partner with government.
Leader of the team and rector, Department of Joint Studies Command and Staff College Jaji, Brigadier General Johnson Irafe, said the theme of this year's study is enhancing economic development through public-private partnership. He remarked that the core student officers will be attached to the critical sector of the state with direct impact on the nation's economy. In Port Harcourt, Dibaba Risid Maweke, NTA News. With the new date for the State and National Assembly rerun election in sight, civil society groups and key stakeholders have commenced actions in earnest towards driving a peaceful electoral process. This is coming as Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in the state says it is taking steps to unravel the fake result sheet printing allegation. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Like the previous elections, preparations have commenced in earnest, especially among the key political parties as they strategize towards winning. While these are welcomed in every democratic and civilized society, there are concerns for the respect of the people's will as will be expressed through the ballots.
People should play their part given to them either by the law establishing them or the constitution.
Let others go and campaign the way we are campaigning. Let others preach peace the way we are preaching this peace.
There have been instances in the past where the key actors have pledged to play by the rules. This time, analysts say it is necessary they keep to the terms, especially given that the state is currently underrepresented.
As a matter of fact, if all stakeholders, concerned stakeholders, whether major or minor, civil society, market women, youth, opinion leader, comes together to agree upon a particular thing, we will get it done.
In the meantime, INEC in the state, in a statement signed by the Secretary to the Commission, Mrs. Augusta Ogaku, said it is not privy to and never authorized the alleged fake result sheet printing, insisting that it is working with the police to unravel the incident. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amadri, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. Hauwa is back to you for the rest of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Mina. Policymakers and experts from national, regional and international organizations are strategizing on possible solutions to the growing problem of illicit drug trafficking, related organized crimes and drug abuse in West Africa. Joseph Johnson reports that the event is expected to greatly assist Nigeria in curbing transnational border drug trafficking.
The globalized world in which we live today has brought free movement of people and goods, which generate economic opportunities and regional integration. At the same time, it has also led to increased opportunities for organized criminal groups to traffic illicit goods and engage in smuggling across borders. Nigeria, and indeed the West African region, is no exception to these trends and challenges. How to tackle these issues is the reason why these experts are gathered here.
The European Union as a priority, living together, trying to restabilize the region.
The two projects are funded by the European Union.
This conference will assist Nigeria in a very big way because all the resources we've been spending, our governments have been spending on these issues, and if there is any weak link somewhere in the sub-region, all these efforts will be wasted.
We need to work together in this fight against drugs and organised crime to make it work properly.
But working together to tackle these challenges will need trust and commitment from member states. And at the end of the deliberations, it is hoped that a well-drafted action plan will ensue. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thanks, Joseph. And motorists flying the Kano-Maiduguri route commend federal government over dualization of the road. Details with Suleiman in our Kaduna Network Center.
Thank you very much, Hauwa, and welcome. Ahead of the February 2017 enforcement dates for the installation of speed limiting device in vehicles across the country, the Federal Road Safety Commission, Zone 1, Kaduna, is meeting with stakeholders in the transport sector to fashion out modalities for effective implementation. Indayan and Abagyan completes the report.
Overspeeding has been attributed to the high rate of accidents with its attendant fatalities in the country. This has necessitated the introduction of speed limiting device in vehicles by the Federal Road Safety Corps. And so, ahead of the enforcement date of February 2017, the FRSC Zone 1 Kaduna brought together stakeholders in the transport sector to brainstorm on the speed limiting device for effective implementation. The Assistant Corps Marshal in charge of FRSC Zone 1 Kaduna, News Dawan, while highlighting the benefits of the device in preventing fuel efficiency and prolonged lifespan of vehicles, said there is no going back on the.
They should be able to synergize and to see how they can get these speed limiting devices for their members, because there's no going back on the enforcement day.
In a presentation, Senator Lawal Ali, who owns a transport fleet, attested to the efficacy of speed limiter and as an effective tool for driver control.
It can only work when there's a device that will monitor the speed limiter itself, the functions of the speed limiter, because the speed limiter after installation could always fail. So how do you know that the speed limiter has failed? So there has to be a mechanism to ascertain whether or not the speed limiter is functioning.
The Emir of Zozo, Alhaji Shehu Idris, represented vendors and various road transport unions, commended the efforts of FRSC to save lives and the need to put in place modalities that will ensure the device is readily available and at affordable cost. In Kaduna, I am Indian and Abuja, NTA News.
And motorists plying Kano Maiduguri Road in Dutse have commended federal governments and contractors handling its dualization at the various sections of the project. Habib Hussein visited the site at Shuarin to assess the progress of the work as ultimatum given for the completion is approaching.
Some months back, Minister of State for Power, Works and Housing Alhaji Mustapha Babashehuri visited the site of the various sections of the project to assess the progress of work and ginger the contractors to speed up. Section 2 of the project with contract number 5879 covers Shuarun, Jama'ari to Azari. Some motorists flying the road expressed satisfaction with the progress of work and hope it will be completed soon.
Alhamdulillah, all the potholes, everything no more now. Precisely, I can even say it's just like you're not in Nigeria, the road. Because we really like how it's going, you know, how the project is going. I mean, the company is really shining.
I've been on this road for more than 20 years, since when I was a kid. I lived in Maiduguri. Actually, the road was bad. The network was very bad, but alhamdulillah, now the work is working very well.
To residents and commercial operators in Shuarin, the project will expose the area and help in creating new job opportunities for people. NTA camera lens captured workers doing their best at the various sections of the work, but investigation revealed that none among the site engineers was available to supervise the workers and comment on the level of the progress of work. From Dutse, Habib Hussein, NTA News.
And with that report, is back to you, Hauwa, for more on the Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Suleiman from Kaduna. With barely a few hours to the flag off of the 2016 Christian pilgrimage to Israel, Rome and Greece, there's a free exercise with innovative projects, especially for the poor, to perform pilgrimages. Talatu Ezirike reports that this was the position of discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live.
Pilgrimages, especially to Israel, many say is not only biblical, but a spiritual rejuvenation, and that over 20,000 Christians are expected to perform the 2016 exercise to Israel, Rome and Greece. Coordinating body, the National Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, has over the years introduced innovative programs like the Sponsor a Pilgrim to Israel in building a people of righteousness and character.
I went to one state recently, and the governor sponsored some people to go to pilgrimage. That governor is a Muslim, and they told me that he has only 2 requests. That he wants the Christians who are going on pilgrimage to pray for his state and for him, and to pray for the president and the vice president. That these people mean well, and if God helps them, they will transform this nation.
We are going on this pilgrimage to pray for our own country. I want you to know that a lot of prayers have been poured up to heaven concerning Nigeria. Things probably will have been worse than this, but we are grateful to God, and that all who go will always pray.
For others, pilgrimage should be for both spiritual and material gains. Reasons for the NCPC introducing skills acquisition.
We teach people. I give one example about a particular sister.
started with, after visiting the site, started with few beds, about 15 of them. As that when she came to do a presentation to us, she has over 5,000 beds.
So I encourage every Christian, every child of God who is healthy and alive to go to Israel before you go to heaven.
The 2016 exercises hope to end within the same calendar year and feature plans to make Nigeria a pilgrimage hub. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
And on the foreign scene, United States President-elect picked South Carolina's Governor Nikki Haley as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Plus, tension mounts in DR Congo as President Kabila postpones elections to April 2018. Gabriel Audu has more on Global Tidbits.
President Joseph Kabila of the Democratic Republic of Congo has postponed presidential elections due to hold this month, November 27, 2016, to April 2018. President Kabila's second and last term is to elapse next month. Meanwhile, a coalition of pro-democracy groups are mounting a bye-bye campaign for the president to leave office. While reports from Malabo, Equatorial Guinea indicate that Morocco and some Arab countries staged a walkout of the African Arab Leaders Summit in protest at the presence of a delegation from the Polisario Front, which wants independence for Western Sahara. Away from Africa now, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has appointed South Carolina's Governor Nikki Haley as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Haley is a daughter of an Indian immigrant. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
And sports is next with Amanzi Marcus.
This is the indoor sports hall of the Abuja National Stadium,